I did that actually recently to look at my first band's MySpace page.
Oh.
Because it's not up there anymore, but it's because MySpace is still a thing, but obviously it's completely different now. But I looked at it, and it was cool to see it. Like it was the old layout, where you did the song. And what's funny was our profile picture, at least for that, was, I believe you took the photos. It was us on High Rock.
Oh yeah, I took those photos.
Yeah, I thought you did. Yeah, that was like one of our first photos we did as a band, I want to say. And that's what it was. I guess that was pretty early on.
That was a near-in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have been 06, 07, I want to say, which is like, that's like the MySpace glory days for sure. That was when MySpace was huge.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time. I'm your host, Josh. Messing around with your cousin, it's all well and good when you're for kids, but it's not a sustainable long-term sexual practice,
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that part. That was a big plot point earlier on. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
That was good.
My co-host Jered is here.
Everyone wants to save the world. They just disagree on how.
Mm-hmm. That is a good line.
Was it in the show? Did he actually say in the show?
Yeah,
okay, because they ended the trailer with that. I was like, man, that's a good line. But I don't remember them saying it.
I'm pretty sure it did, because I remember it. I didn't watch the trailers that much. So the other one I had was, get that jelly mold out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the jelly mold cakes. Yep. Just thought that was funny.
Man, I mean, we'll get into it, but it's a perfect blend of humor and serious and just gory and crazy, which is exactly how the games are. They nailed it. That's a little preview. That's all I'm going to say for now.
Yeah.
My other line, it's for any of you that actually have played the games, is "War never changes."
I almost pulled
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you remember it, the one you did play a Fallout game briefly? Do you remember them saying that at the beginning of the game? Okay, they say it in the beginning cutscene of every game.
Okay, no, I didn't.
And so when she said it in the show, I was very excited. She even paused. I was like, "Oh, she's gonna say it," because she paused. That was, she was like, "War." Pause. I was like, "Yep, she's doing it."
Yep. And that was in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. No spoilers. Just Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you didn't gather from all that nonsense that we were talking, we are gonna discuss the Amazon original Fallout Season 1. But first, a little bit of what we've been watching.
Mm-hmm.
Me, you've been watching, Jered, besides Fallout.
Yeah. I had to cram in the last couple of Fallout episodes pretty quick, but
Same.
Yeah, I really want to rewatch it though, because I think you'd pick up on a lot second time through.
Probably.
Yeah, because there's a lot in there. I have two things I'm going to talk about, and then I'll mention a third one that I only started and didn't finish, and it's a movie, so I'll mention it at least, but I'll talk more about it when I do finish it. First one is Franklin on Apple.
Yeah.
That's fine. Which sucks because I was hoping it'd be better. Because it's Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
As Benjamin Franklin.
I had a friend message me and say, "Have you watched it?" Because they were really digging it. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe it gets better as it goes. And I think also because I have the expectation that because Apple does a lot of period pieces, and most of them are pretty good or great. And so I was expecting this one to hit that, and it didn't. But I didn't watch much of it. But yeah, so it's just okay.
Okay. I mean, that's it was just interesting because literally this past week someone's like texted me. He was like, "Hey, have you watched that yet? It's pretty good." And then I was like, "No, I had a list to check out, but I had So
Yep, we mention this every week. Apple's doing good stuff, but they're putting out a lot, a lot of stuff. It's hard to check it all out. I even had to like get rid of a few too, like
Just in like remove them off the one on the checkout list.
Yeah, well, no, or ones that, well, yes, both. Like ones where I couldn't check out at all, and then ones that I've watched a little of, and then just like I'm never gonna get back to this probably. I can't remember off the top of my head. There was some recently. There's some also that I know there is a few that you watch on Apple that I don't think I. Do you watch like was it like the shows that are kind of like the ones called Trying?
I've not watched any Trying.
Okay, I thought that was something you would watch, but
I think it just never got around to checking it out. But like, yeah, we're like right now I'm watching Loot.
That's when I got rid of.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then
that was when I was like,
And then Paul Morale, still watching that.
Yeah.
Acapulco starts actually today, but I haven't watched the new season 3 of it. But like I watched the first 2 seasons and really enjoyed that show.
Wow, there was already 2 seasons?
Yes.
Jeez. I had to get back to that one because I watched a little bit and I am gonna revisit that one. So no, you said it's good.
I enjoyed it. Lucas enjoyed it too. He watched
nice. Okay.
At least 2 seasons.
My other one is this one really went under the radar, which sucks because it's good. And actually the first season of this did as well. It's on Amazon. The show is called Them. Have you heard of this?
I have.
Okay.
I've never watched any of it, but I know.
Because the first season was probably 2 years ago, I want to say. And I checked it out then. It's an anthology show. So 1 story per season. I actually didn't even know they were going to do a second season. But the first season was really good. It's first season takes place in the 50s. It's about a black family that travels to somewhere in California.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing the trailer.
Did you see the trailer? Okay.
I didn't see the trailer of season 2, but a lot of times if it's something I didn't watch the seasons 1 of, I won't watch the trailer of following seasons.
Well, you could for this.
I know, but like, because I'm like, well, I don't want to, just in case I go back and watch the first, if I'm going to watch this, I'm going to start at season 1. I don't want to spoil anything potentially, so I avoid the trailers.
But so you didn't know it was an anthology?
Nope, I had no idea.
Okay, yeah. What I like about it is I thought the first season was just really good, like, and it was kind of just, I checked it out on a whim, but also I don't think he's involved with it, but the style of this show is very much Jordan Peele, which I don't think you have seen any of his movies, have you? He's on our list for directors though, because he's only done 4 movies now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have.
Not even Get Out?
Nope, didn't see it.
Okay. I mean, that was his biggest one, but
Get out of here. You haven't seen Get Out?
Seen the sequel, Get Out of Here. Yeah, he
dad jokes.
That is a dad joke, yeah. Anyway, so the style, I had to look to see. I don't think he is involved with it, with the show, but
definitely kind of inspired by.
Very much so.
Influenced by.
Yes. And
I just remember, I've just seen all this well, man, all of them, but I've seen a lot of the sketches that they used to do.
Oh, Key and Peele?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's so good.
Those are so good.
I know.
It's just the crazy thing is then he pivots and does horror films and gets good at it. You know,
really good. But what I like though is that
at least allegedly, because I haven't seen it.
No, for sure. Even his newest movie was really good.
Yeah.
But this style though, because again, horror, I can go either way with. I really like them if it doesn't rely on jump scares.
Yes.
That's when I think it's good, because and it has to be a specific genre, like a type of horror movie, because some are just there for just jump scares.
Right.
And I like the other side of it where
it's
it doesn't
more,
rely on that.
yeah, it's more psychological, like,
Mhm.
right? Like the suspense and all that stuff comes from like actual storytelling intention and not, I'm just going to throw something on the screen really fast to cut and,
Yes.
and increase the sound really loud all of a sudden
Yep.
and make you jump out of your chair.
So Jordan Peele's really good at that. I mean, and I'm not saying he never does, but it's very sparing.
I mean, you know, the one that I like, because I don't watch a lot of horror movies, but like one thing that you can put in that category would be like the Alien movie, especially the first.
Yes.
There's so much suspense and so well done. And yeah, there's still like a jump scare or two in there. But
yeah, there's only a couple.
Yeah, but like very sparingly, and it's, used very, very well.
That movie, I just watched it. I mean, I've seen it so much, but I watched it again recently. It holds up so well. Yeah. And that was early 70s, which is insane.
Yeah.
It's still so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be late 70s, but yeah, it's still 70s.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think it was early 70s. Yeah, because Aliens was in the 80s. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't have been. I don't think it was that.
I think it's similar, like, because it is crazy. Like, imagine, we'll have to look, but like, because you got Star Wars and Aliens. I mean, Alien, not Aliens.
Yep.
And like,
oh yeah, that was around the same time.
Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these like late 70s,
early 80s,
like sci-fi stuff that was
so some of the best. Yeah,
so good.
So this show, so it has that style. Well, I really like it. There might be, I don't know, in the second season because I haven't watched much of it yet. So there were still a few jump scares, but it's just, anyway, the first season was done really well. This second season is in the 90s. Again, completely different cast. What's interesting is this season, I haven't seen him. I saw him in the trailer, but Wayne Knight is in this season.
Who is that?
That's Newman from Seinfeld.
Oh,
and he hasn't been in much lately, so I was just like, oh, this is random. He's in this.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, exactly. We got Dots in here. And he looks around. He's like, see, no one cares. I love that scene in the beginning. So he's in this. There's a couple of people I recognized, but anyway, I wanted to shout it out because this time around, just like the first season,
just kind of,
and they put it all out at once, which again, Amazon's kind of doing and kind of not.
Why?
Yeah,
because his Fallout would have been amazing once a week.
And you know what? I have a theory about that because I think
they put it was supposed to be.
Well, I think they put them all out just because for people that aren't familiar with it, just to get them hooked in. The second season, they're for sure not going to put it all out at once because of how popular this got already. Yeah. I think that's what they're going to do.
But you can do like the Apple model where you just drop a couple and then you do it week.
Well, that's what they do with The Boys. So that's probably what they'll do with the next season. But yeah. Oh, other thing I wanted to mention about the show Them is another big horror director. Actually, there's two. I was going to mention Ari Aster is another very good horror director that doesn't rely on jump scares either. He's the one that did Midsommar and Hereditary.
Okay.
I don't know. Actually, I think I have him on our list of directors as well because he's also only done a few movies. But another big, right now, of this genre director right now is Ty West. Have you heard of him?
The name sounds familiar. What has he done?
He's doing a trilogy right now of like kind of 70s inspired kind of slasher movies, but each one's different. The third one's about to come out. The first one was called X. They all star I need to remember her name. She's the main star in all of them. She's a pretty big actress now. First movie was called X. Second movie is called Pearl.
Okay.
The new one's called Maxine.
Okay.
That one's about to come out. Anyway, he has a very unique style. He directed, I don't know if he did in the first season, but he directed a few episodes in season 2, which is cool. So be interested to see his style in this show. But yeah, I wanted to shout it out because it's It's good, and I feel like no one is watching this, but at least they did enough to. They did a second season.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention. It's funny because what you said, I said about Frank, but like I remember not too long after season 1, like someone recommended, like, did you watch that to me? And I was like, no.
Oh, this show?
Yeah,
for them.
Yeah. That was a old coworker from High Rock.
Oh, okay. All right, so at least someone was
watching
else
it.
besides me. Cool.
But,
yeah, it was really good. I'm hoping that because again, I'm hoping season 2 is good because I haven't watched much of it. The actress is Mia Goth. Yes, she's the main actress in all 3 of these.
Just click on her picture so you can see a bear. Such a picture.
She's gotten big off of these movies. I don't know what else.
She in? Because like she doesn't look familiar to me.
Okay. Yeah, she hasn't really been.
Anything else? So you said you had the third thing or the movie you started and did.
Oh yeah. So again, actually sticking with horror in a way.
Man,
I didn't really think I was going to go this direction, but
things have been a little dark lately.
Yeah. I started watching, so I'll talk more about this when I finish it. But the new Sydney Sweeney movie, the other new Sydney Sweeney movie, Immaculate, because that's out on VOD now.
Oh yeah.
It's at least out on VOD. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere yet.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But this one I was looking forward to. I didn't watch you watched her rom-com though, didn't you?
Yeah, loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You did talk about it.
Talked about it on the podcast. Like, if you like those kind of movies, like this is up there with the classics of that kind. And I think it was really good. And what's his name?
The guy. Yeah, I forget his name. Yeah, he's.
What would you like his name?
He's pretty big now too.
He's up and coming, like kind of like becoming but I liked him a lot in that too. He's got the charisma for it.
Yeah, he's. What is the movie? There's a movie he's coming out.
Well, I will talk about one.
Was it Hitman?
No.
Twisters?
Yes.
Okay, I would say that's at least 2 that I know he's coming up in that I want to see. But
The Hitman's a Netflix movie, right?
Yeah, I don't know when it's coming out though because I keep seeing something about it.
On my list, I think.
It looks sick because it's what's the director? Richard Linklater?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which he hasn't done a movie in a long time, has he?
Yeah, it's June 7th. It comes out, the movie.
Okay,
that's what I have.
All right, we've got about a month. Cool. So Immaculate. What's great about this is that it is very much. Which I like a lot of new movies are doing this because I love this decade for movies specifically. This is very 70s horror inspired. So very original Exorcist movie.
Okay.
The style of this.
Okay.
That's what it reminded me of. Obviously, she's great in this. There was one other actress. Oh, you know what? Now I know where I've seen her because I was trying to think about this. White Lotus season 2. The Italian girl.
Okay. There was 2 Italian girls, but
I know. I'm trying. The dark. No, wait. They both had dark hair, didn't they? That
they're
doesn't Italian. I know that doesn't really.
Well, there was the girl that was more into the son of.
It was the one that like
the family, like the father, the grandfather, son, father and son trio. And there was a girl that was like flirting with him.
Oh man, she was the one that was she actually a prostitute or just people thought she was?
No, she was.
Okay, that's the one then.
Yeah,
it's her.
Yeah.
So she's in this movie too.
Okay.
Now I remember where I saw her. That's where I've seen her.
And Sydney Sweeney was in season 1.
Yeah, I forget about that because that was so long ago. Yeah. I mean, they get such a good cast for that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Although the new season, did they say the cast? I haven't seen.
Yes.
Is it good?
Yes.
All right, cool.
I don't remember who, honestly, off the top of my head, but I remember them at least releasing some of them. I don't know if it's the full cast.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. The casts in both season 1 and 2 are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And like diverse in like a weird mixture of people you would never think.
Yeah.
But because of the style of storytelling, they can do that because it's like the dynamic of that is they're all just, they don't necessarily have to cross paths directly and integrate so deeply together. There's the characters, right? You can have these very different characters that are kind of just happen to be all in the same hotel at the same time, right? So
that's what that show does best is like, that's in like, that's the whole key of the show pretty much. Yeah.
It's great. Love that show.
I just also want to shout out with this movie, the score is awesome because there was a specific sound. It's like a very old, slightly detuned piano sound that obviously sounds perfect for horror anyway, but it's something the way they used it is not something I've heard in any other movie in this genre before. So even just that alone, again, I haven't watched the whole movie yet, but yeah, I'll talk about that more when I do finish it. But yeah. Cool. So yeah, what about you?
So I'm going to talk a little bit about one, but first, before I do that, let's, the Big Door Prize on Apple TV came back season 2. Really enjoyed season 1. Thought it was, not quite like maybe an 8 or 9, but a strong 7-ish. Like, really enjoyed it. It was fun. They're kind of a dramedy with a little sci-fi mixed in there as well, and they're like 30-minute episodes, so it's like kind of like a really interesting show if you haven't checked it out. But season 2, it's been really fun, like, and keeping up with the level of quality I think that season 1 was. So if you enjoyed season 1, season 2.
I have a question about this show that maybe you can answer.
And season 1 was definitely based on a book, I think, but I think they covered the material in the book in season 1.
Oh,
so I
didn't know that.
I think season 2 is going beyond the book, but maybe I could be wrong. But
okay, so I did watch only the first episode of this show. What is this show about? Because I still have no idea after the first episode. I'd like you to enlighten me. I mean,
so the general theme, or the thing that's interesting about it is there's this machine,
right?
And then people go in this little, like, almost like a coin op machine that you get in, like a photo booth-ish type of thing, although it's a computer in there. And then you get in there, and it's, when you're done, like, it spits out a little, and like a business card looking card, but on it is a word or 2 words, and so people start thinking that the word is like, has something to do with like your purpose in life. So then it plays off the idea, which I think is very smart, and I'm sure this is from the book, plays off the idea of like, just by a positive or negative reception of that, like, like you start to change who you are or pivot like your whole life, or not, but I mean, like how it affects people, good or bad, and their life because they got a card that just has a word on it.
Okay, that makes more sense. So it's just like a social experiment.
I think from that standpoint, it's really clever and smart and storytelling wise. And then, but then inside of that, like, they have some very interesting characters that are kind of funny, and they're the dynamic of like one of the leads and his wife and kid, like it's fun and different and quirky a little bit, and there's just like some humor in that way. I think that part's done well. And then, but then of course there's this mysterious element of like where that it is this machine even come from.
Right.
And then of course, so there's like this little bit of hint of like kind of sci-fi-ness because it's like there's mystery there and not sure what's going on because there's a couple other things. I don't want to spoil stuff, but like kind of things that kind of allude to other things. And then of course in season 2, there's a shift and things.
I was gonna say, do they explain anything yet? Going into season 2,
explain any of the mysteries.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of, it starts to give you a little bit more of backstory ish of like this machine, so like a little bit, but like not a ton. Like it's still pretty mysterious. Like you still don't really know. And then of course, like I said, the words on there, like the assumption everyone makes is that they're their purpose in life kind of thing, right? Like if you like for instance, like one person gets the word hero on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're like, well, and then they kind of take that out to heart or not. And anyway, so yeah, but no, I think it's actually pretty good and well done show. And it's again, it's not, even though that concept is kind of deep and it is there, they, again, because of the quirkiness and stuff, it kind of also balances out with some lightheartedness. So it's not not super like deep and heavy like to watch, right?
Right.
So yeah, so it's enjoyable. I think so.
Okay.
Season 2 so far pretty good. I think I've watched 3 episodes, which is what they dropped it with, which is unusual because once they have a season 1, they normally don't do that with season 2. But they drop. But I guess now they got so much content they're cranking out that
they got to do it. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that just reminded me, just because one of the best Apple shows. I would say go beyond that. One of the best shows in a long time. Severance.
Yeah.
Just wrapped. You saw that?
Yeah.
Finally. They were filming that forever.
It's supposed to get released before the end of the year.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
That's what I've heard rumors
Are they going to
of.
be able to get it out this year?
Yeah, that's what I heard rumors of that. And,
Okay.
and Silo season 2 wrapped as well.
Wow.
And
All right.
then both those, the hearsay and the ether is that they'll both be out before the end of the year.
Okay.
So we'll see if that happens. But if not, early next year. So
Okay.
yeah.
Where are you getting this ether? Are you listening to the wind? How are you?
I just observe it. I don't listen.
That's right. That's what I was waiting for you to do. Call back.
Call back, yeah.
Yeah.
Last week's episode. Yeah. So then the other thing I wanted to talk about is my
I was
shirt.
wondering when you're gonna bring that up.
So shout out to Warehouse Cinemas.
For the audio listeners,
Yes.
if you're not watching,
I'm wearing my t-shirt from Trailer Fest, which we're not talking about
Not a
truck trailers or a trailer
or a
park.
trailer park.
We are talking about
That's what I went to first.
movie trailers, a festival of movie trailers. And so over the weekend, I went to their first annual Trailer Fest. And they did it all 3 of their locations. So Hagerstown, Frederick, and Baltimore.
Sorry, I couldn't go. I was going to, but
Yeah,
I had previous obligations.
So part of the thing, you got a free t-shirt, which I'm wearing for the visual watchers. And
For the visual listeners, the audio listeners and the visual listeners.
visual listeners.
I'm going to start saying that. Doesn't make sense, but
yeah, I'm a quiet person, but I'm not quiet. There's a riddle for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So Trailer Fest.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Warehouse Cinemas. This was a fun event. It was technically free. They sold out like in 48 hours. And which, I mean, free, yeah. But so I think they might charge a little bit something next time because, if it's that popular. But
And they had a lot of vendors that were right?
So kind of what it was, real quick. You showed up early. There was like kind of a hangout time. You got a swag bag and a t-shirt, part of the thing. And then there was samplers of all the food, which, the food there is great. Like, chicken and waffles and their grilled cheese sandwiches that are really fancy. And then the
the popcorn
beer pretzels and the popcorn.
the popcorn mix you were talking
Yeah,
about.
there was like with M&Ms and pretzels and mixed in with
That
popcorn.
sounds great. Yeah.
All that stuff. And it was all part of the package. You got that stuff. They had some vendors there to do some samples of different things, including some local distilleries and things like that. And then they also did a poster swap because, they get a bunch of movie posters. So each person got a movie poster, and then if it wasn't, you could try to see if you want to swap with somebody. Then, and then they also gave you a discount for if you wanted to buy any branded merchandise of Warehouse Cinemas, like because they have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, different things. Like you got a coupon for that day. So you did that, and that was all like kind of hang out, mingle time beforehand. And then you went into the theater, and for about 45 minutes, watched a bunch of trailers and the big screen of like upcoming stuff for the year. So that was kind of what happened. It was a great time, and I think again, as successful as it was, they'll probably do it again. Maybe they'll do it twice a year. I don't know, because there's always the opportunity to kind of do the winter preview as well. Because this is basically I think pretty much. No, I guess they included some stuff that's not till fall, but anyway. But I wanted to touch on a few of the trailers and just see if you've seen these, your thoughts on these upcoming movies. I think I have these in release order, but maybe it might be off a little bit. But the first is Fall Guy, which actually comes out this weekend.
Yeah, it just came out. I thought, this weekend. Okay.
Yes, it comes out this weekend. What do you think of this?
I think this movie looks awesome.
Yeah, same. So actually, I'm going to see it on Tuesday next week, so I can talk about it next pod. All right, then we have Furiosa.
Mm-hmm.
This
one I'm worried about.
Yep, this is kind of iffy. I agree. It's kind of iffy. I love Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's great.
But Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya.
I said that wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's still George Miller though, right?
I think so.
I think he's still involved. I don't know how much, but it's like there's a reason why they haven't made another one for a very long time till now, because Fury Road, trying to follow that up, because that is like almost a perfect movie. Maybe very, very close to a perfect movie. And that was 2015, I want to say. We're coming up 10 years already, almost to that.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So anyway, is this a newer trailer for it?
It was the one that half the trailers I watched, I'd seen them before. It's not like they're, but watching them on a big screen is different than watching it at home.
Well, I was wondering because
it's the one I've seen. I mean, it was the trailer I'd seen with the one where it's like black and white with a little bit of color at the beginning.
Okay. Because
flowers, I can't remember what it is, but like it kind of does like the.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering because it was the CG looked not great in this one. I remember that. So I was wondering if this is a different trailer, maybe that looks better now. I don't know.
Yeah. Then Despicable Me 4.
Nice. I didn't know they were. Wow.
I know.
4.
I know. And they've even done some Minion movies in between.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
So, but it honestly looked kind of funny.
Cool.
Even though I don't know if I saw 3 or any of the Minion movies. I might have. I think I've seen 2. I think I saw the second one. Definitely the first one. First one's classic.
Oh yeah.
The new Beetlejuice.
Did they release a trailer for this yet?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. No, maybe I did.
There was the teaser.
I saw only the teaser.
But there's also a trailer.
Okay, have not seen the trailer yet.
This is definitely excited for.
Yeah, they got everyone back, right?
Everyone that should be back.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I know. Yeah, even Winona Ryder, right?
Winona Ryder's in it.
Okay.
Yeah. And the Joker.
Wait, the Joker?
Right. Yeah, Michael Keaton. Not Joker, the Batman.
Batman, yeah, Michael Keaton. I was like, wait, he's no. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Michael Keaton.
And then you've got what's her name? From Wednesday.
Oh, man, she's in everything now.
Yeah. Jenna Ortega.
Okay, yeah.
She's like the new, I think she plays the daughter of.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
For her vibe.
Yep. And then,
the type of movie she does.
Oh man, what's her name from Schitt's Creek?
Oh, I didn't know she was in it. Okay.
Yeah, she's in it, but she's obviously she wasn't in the first one,
right?
But yeah.
You know what? Perfect name for the movie, which means they have to do a third one, and say it 3 times.
Yeah.
Like if they don't, then they're messing up royally.
But you've got again, wow, man, I'm drawing blank. The director's back.
Tim Burton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he got kind of got his groove back with Wednesday, the TV show. I feel like he kind of had some Misses
Did
there for a
he?
while.
Did he actually? How involved was he with Wednesday?
I think he directed some of it too,
Okay,
if not all of it.
he did. Okay, so he did at least a few of them.
I think.
I remember. I think Danny Elfman was involved a little bit with the music, but not all of it.
On Wednesday, or
Yeah, on Wednesday. But didn't Danny Elfman do Beetlejuice as well? And I wonder if he's doing the new one.
I don't know.
Hmm.
That's your department, not
I
mine.
know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he was executive producer on Wednesday.
Right.
Let's see, director. 4 episodes he directed.
Okay.
But like he did Dumbo,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, so I feel like there was a couple things in there a little weird, and kind of like didn't really hit as well. But anyway,
Well, didn't he do the remake of Willy Wonka? That was horrible.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So hopefully, like like I said, he kind of got his groove back with Wednesday, and
Yeah.
and then rolling into Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
Then the If movie.
Oh yeah.
I think this looks this has that potential
Yeah.
to be like one of those like just classic charming kids movies that just transcends like time, right?
I hope so.
And it just I get that vibe from the trailer, and then of course even with the people involved, I mean you have John Krasinski writing and directing, and then you have Ryan Reynolds like starring as and just I feel like I'm like, yeah, that seems like a really good team up there too as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I saw that this was the coolest thing I saw about this movie was a behind the scenes of because Steve Carell's in it also.
Yeah.
And it was John
right.
Krasinski and Steve Carell. Like, I think this is the first time. I don't want to say first time on camera maybe that they've like hung out again in a while.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to see them together, hanging out.
Yeah. Then Inside Out 2.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer for this either.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
So, I mean, the simple premise is she has puberty,
Right.
and they introduce a bunch of new feelings, and it's all like anxiety and all the things that happen.
Yep.
when you're,
There's a lot.
yeah, when you hit puberty, and it's like creating. And then there's like, I mean, one of the clever things, and this is why I love, well, Pixar in general, but why I'm terrible with names today. The director of Inside Out.
That I don't know.
That also, anyway, like they had.
Wait, he did Up? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Michael Giacchino? No, he did the music.
That's the music.
Never mind.
No.
I don't know the director. I know. I go to music instead.
Yeah. But anyway, just in the trailer, that's like all of a sudden she generates the sarcasm chasm, and it's like this chasm, giant like chasm in the brain area that's like this, and it's like you say something and then the echo comes back sarcastic.
Nice.
And it's just like clever things like that. That's just
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like the Pixar, man, they just the writers and those creatives over there are just always geniuses. But
yeah, they are.
Anyway, I obviously really looking forward to that. Twisters. Yeah. This looks like fun. I mean, and like, even though I'm not like Mr. I mean, I didn't hate it, but like, it's not like I'm like this big fan of the first Twister movie.
I haven't seen it in so long.
But something about this, and I think again, what we alluded to earlier, the actor that's terrible. I can't remember.
Who else is in the new one? Anyone else recognizable?
I feel like that's not the right thing. I feel like there was, but
I'm trying to think who else was in the trailer because I remember seeing this trailer.
oh no, it's like, man,
I haven't seen the original since I was a kid, and now I'm worried to like watch it again.
Mm-hmm. So, Glenn Powell, that's his name.
Yep.
Daisy Edgar Jones is in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the new Superman. Go up.
David.
Yep. There's from Mad Men.
Oh,
the daughter.
I forgot she just looks so much older. All right, so just wondering. I can't remember who was even in the original. If there's like anybody they brought back, but anyway, it looks
no,
like
it doesn't look like anyone from the original.
Looks like a fun time to me.
Yeah, it does.
Then we've got Alien Romulus.
Oh. Was it a full trailer?
Oh.
Because I saw a teaser and that was it. I thought
that's
all
a teaser because it probably was a little bit on the shorter side. Yeah.
Okay, I'm very excited for this.
This looked good. It looked good. Speaking of jump scares.
Yeah.
Which there was a bunch of horror movies that I'm skipping because I don't normally watch those. So, but also they were like, there's a couple of them I was like, man, because they were supposed to, they also were careful probably because it was all supposed to be, all audiences, right? Like there was people there with kids, and a couple of those trailers for some of those horror movies are stuff that was a little borderline, I would say, that I wouldn't want my 11 or 12-year-old to see. And then last one on the list, Deadpool 3.
Oh yeah.
Very excited. I cannot wait for this.
I know. Me too. I like how they're leaning into it so much that he's basically saying in the trailer, like, we're going to save Marvel with this movie.
Well, he's like, I'm the Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Marvel Jesus.
Yeah.
And it's like playing into Christian tropes, the general tropes, but then also like kind of the way he kind of words is almost like the Dune Messiah, like in the love that. The there was even like his opening line, like where he first sees the.
Well, I just love they're allowing
the TVA, and he's like, "This is Disney. They're not used to or something." He's like, "I'm used to this, but this like they're just And Ryan Reynolds has always been perfect for that role, and it's just and then of course bringing back
Hugh Jackman
to play Wolverine. Yeah, that's
which is amazing that he did because. He definitely said he's like, I'm not doing this again. But it's exciting. I like that they're even allowing Deadpool to basically be like say these kind of things to where he's saying like basically admitting like, yeah, Marvel sucks and I'm here to save it. Like Marvel sucks now.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. And then I love Matthew McFadden, seeing him in part of the TVA, and I'm just like, it's good to see him in Succession. Like I kind of missed the guy.
Yeah, he's great.
And so that
I'm glad that they are holding off on the cameos. Like, don't put him in the trailer.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, other than the Wolverine. Defective Wolverine, but like
that's part of the movie.
Title.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Deadpool and Wolverine.
I'm just wondering because
there's going to be so many that we don't even know about. But I'm sure.
I'm hoping there's a lot, but it's I don't know though because there was a lot of rumors about a lot of actors from the original X-Men movies, which would be sick. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know how many of them they're going to get back.
Yeah, I feel like they could pull because like what they do in the Doctor Strange 2 movie, and they had even John Krasinski playing Mr. Fantastic and the other different universe in the multiverse. So I think they can figure something out and get a bunch of random people and different random things, and I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a solid movie. Probably break records for like the amount of money an R-rated movie makes.
I think so. And also they kind of have to, this movie has to be really good because I saw someone mentioning this is the only Marvel movie this whole year.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. It's been a minute since that's happened. So
and a show, I mean,
not really.
I don't think there's any shows coming out on Disney Plus either. So it's like it is the Marvel Cinematic Universe's only thing for only play. This is our card.
We'll see.
it's a full hand. This is our not our hand. It's a full whatever. I don't play poker. You can tell.
I don't either.
So,
I can't help you there.
But yeah, they're like, hey, we're going all in on this one for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be worth it. I think it might
I
pay
hope
off.
so.
What if is it going to be the first $1 billion R-rated movie?
That's never happened.
I don't know.
There we go. You got it in there. You were confident enough. I believed you.
As a R.
There's definitely had to have been.
I don't know, because like it's not a lot of movies have made.
Yeah, maybe not R. Let's
see.
Could very well be then.
Here's a list of highest grossing R-rated films. Number 1 was Joker. Oh, Joker did make it.
Did it make a bill?
It made a bill. Oh, that's right. Oppenheimer is it was rated R too. Oh, but Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1 is number 3 and 4.
Yeah, so it will. It definitely will. It'll cross the bill.
Yeah.
Especially because
now it's linked to the cinematic universe. Yeah.
But also there's no other Marvel.
Yeah. And there hasn't been.
So
I mean, what was the last movie?
I don't know.
Last year sometime.
Try to forget because it was bad. Whatever it was.
Wasn't that bad?
Oh, it was the Marvels. Yeah, that I know you liked that movie.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah.
I did
enjoyed
not
that
like
movie.
that
was
movie.
that was last like November or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that movie. Okay. Well, it's not gonna, but it'll probably become number 1, I think.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because which I bet you Oppenheimer had to break that by now.
I'm sure it
because
did.
they re-released it and stuff. But I don't know. Interesting. All right. Well, that was of the one. That's the ones I wanted to highlight. I mean, there was a lot more trailers than that, but yeah. So let's get into.
Wait, you didn't watch anything else though, really, this week?
No.
Okay.
I don't have time.
I know. I didn't. I had to cram in Fallout.
I mean, I watched Fallout.
Yeah.
And of course our film.
Our film also.
The Lady Killers.
Yep.
So the combination of those things. I will. When I watched The Lady Killers, did I tell you about this?
I don't think so.
I should have talked about it in the Lady Killers, but anyway, this is one where you do a little bit more like casual conversations. But so I watched the whole thing in my Vision Pro on the hammock.
Nice. How was it?
It was amazing. I was getting my vitamin D.
Yeah.
I was getting fresh air. And like we talked about before, like leaning back and just, I can lay back and then the screen's just floating above me right there at the perfect angle.
That's awesome.
It was actually pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Is that going to start affecting how much you like a movie though?
Oh.
You know, you can be like, man, this was amazing. Just because you were in a hammock.
I mean, I don't know.
Is it going to skew your...
Well, that's like saying if someone saw it in a movie theater and someone didn't and saw it at home, does that... Yeah, it can affect your experience.
Yeah. Or if you go in the movie theater and people are talking
way
all
into
day.
it. Yeah. Or like you go see a comedy and like it's packed theater and everyone's laughing and then you're like, man, that was way better than like you watch it by yourself at home.
True.
So, yeah, I mean, at some level, yes, things will affect other things, but
yeah.
Anyway, yes. So, let's talk a little bit about Fallout and Season 1. In a future post-apocalyptic Los Angeles brought about by nuclear dissemination, citizens must live in underground bunkers to protect themselves from radiation, mutants, and bandits.
Yeah, I mean, that's
the generic.
There's a whole lot more to Fallout than that, but yes.
Yeah, well, that was the synopsis on IMDb. Just kind of
very vague.
setting the stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was your general thoughts, or you want my general thoughts?
Oh yeah, I want you to go first because you're not as familiar with this.
So
IP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've discussed on the podcast prior.
Mhm.
I dabbled a little bit in playing Fallout 4
Yes.
on the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, honestly, I don't remember. I mean, I didn't play it that much, but
The most you played is the mobile game.
then I played some of the mobile game,
Yeah.
which I was tempted to download again watching this because I know they added some stuff. But then it was one of the things like, do I have the time? And I just didn't actually start it. But I was like remembering. I was like, that was a fun game to play.
It was good. Yeah.
I do like those kind of games on like the mobile devices, like the kind of like resource management / whatever you call that.
Also, that game actually did come to consoles, which is cool.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well.
Probably, I mean, PlayStation at least, but I imagine it's probably on Switch also. So you don't have to play it on your phone if you wanted to
Well,
play
that
it on
wasn't the
something
reason I
else.
was hesitant.
No, I know, but it's just interesting that a mobile game,
Yeah.
they actually did bring it to other stuff. They don't normally do that, but
It was a hit.
it was, yeah.
It was a hit.
It's cool they're still doing stuff with that because that game's pretty old now.
Yeah. They updated with stuff from the show, evidently, according to I think the page
Okay.
in Apple App Store. But yeah, so that's kind of my ancillary knowledge of the games. So not a lot, but a little bit familiar with the Vault Tech and the Vaults as like know what it is, an organization and kind of thing. But but no, I mean going into this series, I think I mean, see right off the bat, I was like digging the vibe, like the tone, the vibe of it, and by the end, well, midway through, whatever, like I think it was all in all was just a really well done, tight season in general. I think, it kept my interest and fascination with things. I think there's like the little bit of the like side questy kind of feel to some of it, which might be intentional because it is based on a video game. But
yeah,
there's things where you're like, oh, okay, well, nothing's changed that much from the beginning of this episode to the end of the episode, and they just did all this stuff on the side. But there's normally a little bit of character development or whatever from that stuff, and so yeah, and hopefully they'll do a season 2. I think they are, right?
Oh yeah, they already confirmed.
Yeah. So, there was a good setup at the end for that. So,
very good setup for the end of season 2. Yeah, I'll definitely talk about that because it has to do with the game.
What's your takes or your general take on this?
I was going into it. I was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah,
because that's how we have to be. Unfortunately, they're getting better now, though, video game adaptations. But yeah, no, I like this right off the bat, and then I think it got better as it went, and it was really well paced too.
Except for episode 1.
Yes, you're right.
I agree.
It was because no, you're right though. The first episode was because also hour and 15. Why?
Well, I mean, honestly, we want to get into this now. It doesn't really matter. I think.
Is it spoilers already?
Well, spoiler, whatever. I don't know if it's a major spoiler, but like, just get into the more specifics. I have a feeling that what was his name? Titus, he went by most of the time because he was lying.
Maximus,
yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that stuff is what didn't work.
Yes.
If you took that out, then the pacing would have been really well. So I have a feeling that maybe originally he wasn't going to be introduced to episode 2, and then there was a last minute change to try to bring him into episode 1, and then that forced episode 1 to be longer.
That makes sense.
That would be my guess because they didn't feel as cohesive as everything else.
Yeah. He was also the one that when you first see him, you're like, I don't know about this guy. Also, I was like, I mean, I've never seen the actor before, and I was wondering at first, only at the very beginning, I'm like, is this guy actually a good actor?
Mm.
But as it went, I was like, he's good, and I actually really liked him by the end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he goes through a lot. Everyone has a lot of good character development
Yeah.
in this season. But yeah,
Let's say character development. I think the goal.
mm-hmm.
I don't know that he really changes. I feel like he's still the same person. We just understand him better.
Right, from the present day, he doesn't change.
Right.
Yes, you're
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. No, I was very surprised by this show that it was this good,
Mhm.
and I was very happy that specifically we talked about like Bethesda Games was involved with the show, but specifically Todd Howard, who is kind of the godfather of this IP now. I think I mentioned this before. The first two games was published elsewhere back in like the late 90s, I want to say. But
Yeah. They were just PC games too, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
but then the start of Fallout 3 and everything after that, he was been the main director on.
So I'm just curious. Like, did Bethesda did they buy the rights of those old games off of whatever old studio or?
I don't think they did because I don't think there's really an easy way to play the first two. So if they would have bought it, they probably would have at least ported it to have it on console also, especially now that Bethesda's owned by Xbox. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it
Well, then they
transferred
would have to have
them.
the rights to it some way.
Well, yeah, but
be able to
I
make
don't
the
know how
new
that
ones.
works, or if they were still involved in some way. Just maybe Todd Howard wasn't for the first two games.
I don't know.
Anyway, but it was cool. I saw behind the scenes, like he actually was on set and he had a big hand in it because when we first talked about this show, I think last week, I mentioned also that this show is canon with the games.
Right.
This is basically like Fallout 5, which is technically what the next game would be, but we're not getting that for a very long time, unfortunately. But yeah, so it's cool. And I remember him seeing an interview. He was saying like, yeah, we had like he was heavily involved on set and basically saying like, oh no, like certain things like, no, you can't do that because we're saving that for the next game, which was cool. So everything in this, it's great. I like when it's actually all is right with the lore and doesn't mess things up, which is cool. So you could go right into this. If you're not going to play all the games, you could go right into this after playing Fallout 4 at least, timeline wise, and it would make sense. But yeah, it's great. Just for people that don't know, I mean, I'm a huge Fallout fan. I've played all of them except for 1 and 2, a lot. So I love it's such a specific style that I love. If y'all have been listening or watching to this or our film one, I love the 50s. So there's what?
No, the what did I say earlier? Visual listener.
Yeah. If you're an audio listener or a visual listener. Yeah, I love the 50s kind of style anyways, so that's like what this style is because that's kind of the aesthetic when the bombs dropped. So it kind of everything's stuck in that time. So all the music's from 40s and 50s. I love the music in this. The score in this was good too, different from the games. Einon Zur is the composer of the games, and it's incredible. There's one spot I will shout out in this show where they do a specific main theme from the games that was awesome. But yeah, anyway, they do just overall, just to finish up, they really nailed the style. Because it's there's a lot of humor, both just like silly, very dark humor.
Yes.
Very gory and bloody. But also very serious. A lot of factions involved. And a lot of people that are trying to run things behind the scenes. I'll say that. So, yeah. But I'm now I'm just it sucks we're gonna have to probably wait like 2 years at least for the next season, but I'm very excited for it. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for another season of this too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So you're more of a Fallout fan now after this than you were before.
Yeah. I mean, before, yeah. But I mean, I remember thinking that the game, I mean, Fallout 4, like seemed like a neat game. I just didn't. It's one of those things I just didn't have the time. I mean, I don't play a lot of video games, and even when I do, I never finish them. Even like my favorite ones, it takes me forever.
And that's the problem, is all these games are very long, and you have multiple endings you can do with it, and it's just
So I mean, it's just not. But yeah, but it seemed like a really neat idea, neat thing even then. So, and then of course, the show definitely it's well done, like you said, but also doesn't. I mean, they did a good job, I think, of creating something that you could have never touched a game, and I think you would have really enjoy it. And
that's a good point.
And get it and not feel like you're lost. And so I think, they balanced that stuff really well, of like having those Easter egg things or whatever that maybe excites a video game fan.
Yes, but they did a lot for the fans, but also, like you're saying,
none of it's critical to understanding to make sure that the story and everything that was going on was enjoyable. So I think it can be appreciated on both ends.
Yes.
So I think I talked about this before when you mentioned the guy playing Marcus, but the Maximus, sorry. But definitely Ella Purnell and Walter Goggins, man.
Yeah.
Both just so good.
Very good.
So good in this show. And
yeah.
I just enjoyed watching both of them every time they're on screen.
Mm-hmm. I like specifically with Walton Goggins the present day, but seeing how he was in the past, because I like that we got a lot of his past as well. And yeah, he had a lot he had to do, because that's what I mean when we were talking about he doesn't change in the present day, but from how he was there that we learn in the past to now, like, it's very different. But also, as you see, I guess we're full spoilers now, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
As we see as we go through the show, the way Lucy starts, very innocent, doesn't know any better, and then he even mentions a line about how, like, you're basically, I don't know, it's a very good line. I'm gonna butcher it because I don't remember it, but
it was something about, I think if we're thinking the same one, something about like, but while you're up here, you'll change, and then by the end, will you even care about the thing that you were?
Yeah,
that's the thing you're thinking of.
It was there was something where it was like something like you're one bad day from being me. It was like a very like Western kind of gunslinger sentence anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So, and you see as it goes, like, she changes a lot, obviously, being in the wasteland, as everyone does when they go above ground in this.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's what's good, is that even, like we said, so Maximus was the one I wasn't sure about at first, but everyone by the end, I was like, all these characters are great. There wasn't anyone I was just like, by the end, I didn't like.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though we had the brief, what's his name from Lost? That was like his head. That was
Michael Emerson from Lost. Yeah,
he's always good.
He's awesome. Yeah. Because I saw him doing a lot of interviews for this show. I thought he was going to be in it more.
His head was.
Yeah, but
they had him on set every time for
right.
that.
Speaking lines, at least, I was hoping for more. But yeah, no, he was great too. Yeah, Wilzig. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess we can go ahead and do that. That, like, there's a lot of just like random cameo people in this that I thought everyone was great that they had in this. Although I guess also not cameo, but another good person, Kyle MacLachlan.
Yes,
as Lucy's dad.
That would be a little less than a cameo, but
yeah, for sure. Um, not a cameo also, but in the vault. Don't remember the actor's name, but from Severance.
Yes.
He was in a decent amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the guys, wasn't he running for?
Yes.
At one point, and he was like, "Man, I put up 10 posters." Like his response was great.
Yes. Yeah.
That guy's awesome.
He's so good in Severance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he did. He was great in this too. Like because he was running for what do they call it?
Is it the new overseer or is
overseer?
It
that's what they call him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were trying to replace Colin McLaughlin.
Yes.
And then it was him and the other guy running, and then the lady won because we knew she would.
Because they were.
It was rigged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
And yeah, it's funny because, I mean, to be honest, he's similar character in Severance, kind of like but
yeah,
which probably means that's how he is in real life. But
yeah. So we're talking about cameos. The two that I really think of is Fred Armisen as the radio guy near the end.
Yes.
Because so that guy anyway, like the actor, he's such a music nerd and like music hipster anyway.
Yeah.
So it's perfect the way he's talking about like the music that he's playing and like blasting out to everyone on the radio. It was good. Yeah. I loved how he's like, here, check, he's like saying like, check out these mids in this part. And then he was like, yeah, the mids. Right.
Well, and then that guy.
That guy's great too.
From Superstore.
Superstore. That's where I've seen him.
Yeah.
What else is he in?
That's all I've seen him.
Okay.
For, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
man. Yeah. He was great too.
Kind of like borderline, a little bit more than a cameo, but
yeah, he's in it a little bit because he's with Maximus for a while.
And he's at the very beginning. He's like, in the
Brotherhood of Steel. Yeah. With
he's there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and then the other big one obviously is Matt Berry as, first of all, as the Mr. Handy, Codsworth, which you see in is it the Super Duper Mart? Yeah, because he wants to harvest Lucy's organ. So you remember that part?
Yes.
So that's the Mr. Handy is what they call that machine.
Okay.
But Codsworth is the name of that. Actually, he's in Fallout 4. Codsworth is, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
You remember that in the beginning?
Yeah.
Because it starts out with him. Yeah, he's like your personal in your house. Yeah. So perfect voice because the voice of him in the game sounds just like that. So I love that he was the voice of that, and it was cool. You got to see him for real in the flashback. Do you remember that? It's at Cooper's party in the flashback. He talks to. What is his name though? Like, but he mentions they talk. So it's actually Matt Berry playing this character, and then he basically says like how he sold his voice rights for this machine that they were building.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're about the pool.
Yes. Yeah. So I thought that was cool. Even seeing how like that happens, because there's a couple of instances that I'll mention later where it's cool stuff that we have never seen in the game about, like, how did this come to be? And that's one of those things that's cool, seeing the guy that sold his voice for this very big thing that like every household has now. Right. So I like that too. Do you remember? There's definitely a few more cameos. Do you remember who else?
Not really, no.
I feel like there's at least one or two more.
I mean, you're probably right.
Yeah, I don't know. If it comes up, if I think about it, I'll say it. But yeah, anyway, yeah. What is do you have any specific notes or anything you really liked? I mean, we're not going episode by episode. We can just jump around because my notes are kind of just going all over the place.
Specific. Well, I didn't partly because we watched half of it and before we even decided we were going to talk about it, so I didn't have notes from the episode.
I didn't either from the first couple. Yeah, because
But yeah, Well, so I think they do a good job of, or like what I liked in storytelling wise is like kind of weaving these main characters kind of crossing paths and kind of and then all converging at the end and it not feeling too wonky that they try to force that. I think they did a good job of it feeling kind of natural and organic.
Yeah, like they didn't just like what they call it in shows where it's just like a conveniently like they all find each other
Mhm.
at this point. Yeah, and it's not really written well to. Yeah, no, I agree. They did do that well. Yeah.
So I like that. The was it they're in Vault 3? It's Vault 3.
The one they're in later in
Yeah.
the show?
Yeah.
4. Vault 4.
Vault 4. That's
Mhm.
what it is. I knew it was like a lower number.
Yeah.
Because she's like in 33 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one was like funny. Well, there you had though. What's his name? The guy there that had the single eye.
Right. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. Yeah.
What's that the actor's name?
I mean, he's in Archer, but he's also in Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, those are just using his voice, but like
I know that's what I think of.
He's an
though.
old SNL,
Oh yeah.
guy. But yeah. Anyway,
That
that
actually looked pretty good, like CG wise too.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
eye, I was like,
that was but that was the weird like I said, that was kind of one of those side things where it just kind of
mhm.
they're there, and I mean they gave Maximus the like at least to get to experience a vault and kind of understand what she's been talking about in a way. So like that was beneficial for
Mhm.
him, but like otherwise like it's kind of this weird like side thing that like
Yeah, well, you see, they're basically doing, because this is how it is in the games. There's certain vaults where they specifically were designed to do specific experiments on the people that they put in there, and so like this one, each person you see, when they're walking around has like some sort of mutation
right
to them. Yeah. And I did like at the end where Lucy thought she was like basically going to die, and then they were really nice about it. They're like,
you're
sentenced to death like on the like
on the surface.
Yeah, on the surface. Yeah. And they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll give you supplies too, or something. Like
Someone
they
will
gave
help you carry him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was yeah. But they were doing something weird stuff. But then like
Oh yeah, they're drinking blood and
mhm. Well, and they I guess they alluded to that like in that vault is where they made the creature that she rented that stole the head from her in the like episode 2 or 3, whatever it was, like that was underwater.
right. Yeah.
Because then he's like supposedly he's like, oh, that was my great grandfather or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, how's that work?
That's kind of a good segue. They also do a good job with some of the big monsters that they run into, how like big of a threat they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously there's some like you can kill really easily in the game, but then there's some that like you really are like freaking out when you have to fight one. So that was pretty realistic to like a game experience how they did that. And
that's cool.
even if you have power armor on,
Mm-hmm.
like they did.
It's not always that such a
Yeah, you're not. Even though you have power armor on, you're not invincible though.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I have. This is one I want to start like, cause I don't have too many notes, but this is one thing I think was like this is my first note because it was one of the biggest things that we've never gotten an answer for in the games, and we did in the show, which was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Was the origins of the Vault Boy, the picture of it's called the Vault Boy, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
With the thumbs up.
Yeah.
That it's Cooper Howard and it's cool because, so we never knew that. We never knew the origins of that in the game. And it's cool how they show that. It was like his idea, and then, he does the smile and the thumbs up for the photo shoot. But then it makes sense because I think it goes a little before that. Like, he in the billboard, he shoots the Vault Boy and the head, and you're like, why do you do that? And then yeah. So I think that's awesome that they actually made like because that is literally like the most iconic image from all of Fallout.
Yeah, sure, yeah, 100%.
And it's cool that we got a little backstory to it.
Yeah, that's cool. There was things like that I was curious about. Like, well, for instance, like that we kind of get at the end of like the origins of the actual vaults. Is that stuff you knew before?
You mean in the big like board
Yeah.
meeting room? Oh yeah, that man, yeah, there's a lot in that scene. But no, we knew all the vaults. Yeah, you're saying like how many they showed on the map?
No.
What are you talking about?
Talking about like the fact that that's how they got made and that they.
Oh, and like actually they're wanting to manufacture the bomb.
Yes.
And yeah, that part. No, that was kind of new. There was kind of in the games you kind of have a feeling that some of these companies, because you see the different people at the table, different big companies like involved with this. They kind of allude to some of that in the games. But no, that is a little bit new though. Like when Cooper's wife is talking about that in the meeting. Yeah.
Well, I was. It felt like I was like, man, this seemed. At least watching the show, obviously, it's a big reveal.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, is this stuff we should already know, or from games? And because I mean, it's like her revelation that her dad's been, in on this thing and he's 200 years old.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing is like certain characters you're like, how did they survive this long? But then when you get the mystery revealed, with the cryopods, that's like one way they can actually explain that. Yeah, I definitely had a note about that boardroom scene because that was a huge. Yeah, so one of the people in the board room that's like a huge deal because it has to do with my favorite game of the series, which is Fallout New Vegas. We see the guy that has like the mustache, Mr. House. Do you remember him in the boardroom? He doesn't really talk much, but anyway, he's like the big main antagonist in Fallout New Vegas.
Okay.
And then that ties in also to the very last scene in the show, which is what got me so excited, is where Hank, Kyle MacLachlan, goes to. Did you understand what that was? What he saw at the very end?
No.
Okay, that was a fan thing for sure, because I had a feeling like no one's gonna really that just watch this understand that, but that's
where is he at?
it's Vegas, but this is after the events of the game because it's not really going. So in the game, it's like you can see it from the other side of the Mojave Desert because it's just there's so many lights and yeah, so it's kind of like a rebuilt Vegas, obviously then at that time. But then when he gets there, you can tell that's what it is, but it's pretty run down. There's not really much going on there. But if he's going there, I'm assuming Mr. House is still there because there's a lot of stuff with Mr. House and in the game with that. There's a lot of lore in that game that's really interesting that has to do with that whole Vegas strip. But yeah, it's cool that they're adding that in because that was the only Fallout game that technically Bethesda did not make.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I think it's my favorite, but a video game developer named Obsidian, which does really good games, they're the ones that did it. Bethesda was still involved, but they were the main ones. So it's interesting that they're putting that in because I didn't think they would. I thought they would stick to their own stuff. But yeah, no, we're getting a lot of New Vegas in season 2, it seems, which I'm excited about which makes sense because we're in California, right? In the show, Fallout 3 is the Capital Wasteland, so we're in DC.
Okay.
So obviously we're not going to get that. Fallout 4 is Boston.
Was it?
Right? I think so.
I didn't play enough of it to even know that.
Yeah, I think it's that area. So, it makes sense if they're keeping it on the West Coast, because I know Fallout 1, I don't know about 2, maybe they both are. Those are the only ones that were actually like in the area that they're in the show. Like Santa Monica, right?
Yeah.
Because don't they mention Santa Monica in the show or something around that area? I think they do, but anyway, so that was really cool to see that.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. So
You got anything else?
Vegas, not notes specifically. No.
Okay.
I just, yeah. That was just a really good show. I don't like, it was hard to pull out specifics to be.
Yeah, it is. The last episode in particular, though, was really good just because obviously we got that boardroom scene and Lucy at the actual NCR base.
Yep.
Right? I totally was not seeing it coming that ghoul was her mom.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
yeah, because even like seeing the ghoul sitting there, I was like, why is this ghoul?
Yeah, why is it still alive? Why wouldn't you put them out of their misery? Yeah.
And
but
then eventually they revealed that it's her mom, which is kind of a little weird, but
it is because, but they say something about how I forget her name. Obviously, the one that took Hank at the beginning of the show, and then she's like the leader of the NCR. She said she had, like, she talks about Lucy's mom a lot. So maybe that's why she was leaving her alive, because they had a history together.
They're friends or something.
Yeah.
Because when Lucy starts to have, has that flashback again of her mom, but like it plays out a little further. It's like suddenly she's remembering that the other lady was there and stuff, and they were actually up on the surface, and they were, at the city or whatever.
Shady Sands.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, but she wasn't remembering that part until, she put it all together at the end. So, which that's a kind of a trope that they do sometimes in movies that I'm like, has anybody ever had that happen in real life? Where you're like, you're like, remember something completely different, and then you're in a space and you're like, you know what? This is bringing back additional memories, and it's not the same as I remember it was.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that there is still a little bit in this show that is like, there's still some tropes in it, but it's still like, I think everything still worked. Like, even with like Lucy and Maximus, it's like, it was very quick, them just being like, oh, we're going to kiss now, and like.
Well, I don't know if that's quick, because she tried to earlier, she was just like, do you want to have sex?
Oh, that's right.
He didn't even know what she meant.
Dude, his response to that was insane, because it makes you realize how crazy the Brotherhood of Steel is, because he didn't understand even the concept.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And then he's like, yeah, I've heard it hurts when you.
I thought that was a dream at first also, because it was so out of nowhere, and the way you responded, I was like, dude, why are you responding like this? But I was like, no, this was a real scene of them interacting and saying this. Yeah.
But I also thought it was clever, because I think if you were someone who was in an environment like that and didn't know,
right, and
then they were just, that feels like that would either be the rumor they would spread or whatever to kind
of, another thing they do really well in the show that I just thought about was the Brotherhood of Steel in general. They make them to be way more evil in the show than in the games.
Okay.
The games, you think they're like, they might be doing some shady stuff, but you also think that they're like really helping and protecting. I mean, they're one of the factions you can join of the many different factions, and like in this show, it was like, dang, like you really get to see like what happens to them. By the way, that is also in the final episode. That whole battle of them running up to the NCR base, that was sick.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Speaking of, so what about the fusion stuff, the fusion power that they pull together there at the end?
Oh, that's that was what was. I don't remember how Wilzik got it, but that's what he injected into it.
No, so I know that, but I'm saying like what significance does it have? I mean, it's kind of harder. That's like something that was like not obvious.
No, I mean, they basically kind of say it in passing, where it's like a really sustainable, like unlimited fuel source. So that's why when she finally does it, you see all the lights come back on in the area. So that's kind of like their next step, at least for rebuilding, I guess, more of
The
civilization.
surface.
Yeah. Than like kind of like how the surface is right now, where it's just like the Wild West. So yeah, that's what that is with that. The name Cooper Howard, which is the ghoul's name, right?
Yep.
I love that that's his name because I'm gonna guess last name Howard. That's a nod to Todd Howard. I'm gonna say.
Okay.
And then the first name Cooper has to be a nod to Kyle MacLachlan as Dale Cooper in Twin Peaks. Because this might be a stretch, but I'm just thinking because these two names together are kind of weird. And we also get a DH Kyle MacLachlan, and he looks like he did in Twin Peaks. The de-aging wasn't the greatest, but it still was cool to see him. How'd you feel about that?
No, I thought, yeah. I mean, I think it was good enough
It was good enough, yeah.
for the show. I mean, like,
Were you expecting that? That was something else. I didn't think that was going to be him.
oh no, I had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
That was good too. That was a good reveal.
But yeah. The way they pulled that last episode with the flashbacks into present and whatever, and like telling the story and kind of revealing things in both places at the same time. It's pretty not as good as Severance, but still pretty good.
That's
Severance,
like
that last episode. Oh my gosh,
that's like they're gonna put on a master class for that finals. Like they could put on a master class for that.
Yeah.
I only have a couple more things.
Yeah. Let's get to them. We're already running
That's
long,
right. Yeah, we have been running long.
It's past my bedtime.
It is past your bedtime now. Yeah.
Where you're over here drinking.
Yeah.
I had the non-caffeinated one. I needed something that was at Sheets after a shoot. Like,
The hydrating ones.
yeah, just like the other. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not bad. Like I like to be able to because the fake flavor of a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah. Oh no, that's great. Yeah.
It was kind of weird because it's not
carbonated.
Yeah.
No, it's basically their version of Body Armor, which in that instance, I think Body Armor is better tasting.
Yeah.
Because this is way sweeter, but with something like that, I feel like you want something not quite as sweet. But for this, carbonated.
Yes, I don't know. So great. I feel like they missed the boat on. But I know if you want it just to down something for hydration, then you don't want to have to deal with carbonation. But
yeah. Anyway,
that's a side tangent. It's past.
It's all right. We're talking
bedtime.
It's all right. We're talking about Ghosts.
Yeah,
our future sponsor, hopefully.
Yeah, give me the non-caffeinated but carbonated version, and
yeah, I wonder if they are going to do that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, why not? They could do
any of those, like even the monsters, like some of the flavors of monsters, and they made non-caffeinated versions. I would buy them by the truckloads.
Oh yeah. In episode 6, when Lucy is in Vault 4, she finds the NCR flag in there.
Mm-hmm.
This is the moment that I was talking about. We get the main Fallout theme in the score.
Okay.
So again, this is only for fans. Like you're not gonna realize this, but that was a very exciting moment for me again because that actual Fallout theme is so good. That's at the beginning of like the title screen of every game.
Okay.
All right, my final note is because I want to talk about this character too. So Lucy's brother, Norm.
Yes.
Okay. When the start of the show, I'm like, this guy is probably a very minor character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of how you feel. Yeah.
But he does a lot in this.
Yeah.
And also, this actor, I was like, this guy is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he would be.
Good subtle performance.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny the guy that he's traveling around with because this dude is tiny.
Mm-hmm.
The other dude's so tall. It's so funny seeing them walking together. But yeah, I thought he was great in this, and the funny thing about this,
it's her cousin, right? Because in that, like Lucy made out with him.
Is that it? Oh, the other guy, is that her?
The tall guy, yeah, it's her brother.
Oh, yeah,
and her
it
cousin,
is.
right?
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah,
because then he's like still in love with her. She's like, we're cousins.
Yeah,
like it's all. That's where that line comes.
It is wild that that's like what they had to resort to, being involved that long. I mean, it makes sense, but it's just like it's like how distant can we like?
It's like the olden
get-
days in the Bible, where
Yeah.
people married to their relatives.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the I just wanted to shout out Norm and that actor. And also this is funny. So that actor that plays Norm, Claudia pointed out to me that he's from Hannah, Montana, which is wild that this is where that guy came from, and now he's this great of an actor. But I don't know. He's been on other stuff, I'm sure. But
plenty of kids shows, produce some. I mean,
Zendaya was
in something.
Yeah, she was in one of those kind of shows too, right? Yeah, there's a lot of those people.
He was just telling me the Challenger is really good.
Oh man, I really want to see it. Trent Reznor score also. I listened to the score. It's really good.
Yeah. Anyway, that's another side tangent. But somebody was just telling me it was really good.
Yeah, I really want to see it. I think Austin Butler also came from like a kids or like a Disney show too, which is funny because seeing where he's at now as an actor too.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, a lot of them did come from that world. Ryan Gosling too, right?
Yes.
So the scene with Norm when he's in the overseer's office and he starts hacking it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do the hacking minigame in Fallout 4?
No.
They show it perfectly in that scene, and what's so funny about it is in the game you have to do it and you get 3 attempts. He does it first try in the show, and I was like, man, he's got good hacking skills, because those are not that easy to do that quick. But it was cool. The way they had it on the screen and everything was like exactly like the game. It was just a cool little nod to it. But yeah, he was the last person I kind of wanted to shout out because I was just surprised. I didn't think he was going to be that good and that pivotal of a character. So I mean, he found out the whole secret of like those 3 vaults.
Yeah, figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. Final thoughts? Watch Fallout.
Man, I know. I there's so much more I could probably say if I keep going, but yeah, it's getting late. So,
well,
right into us.
What did you guys like about Fallout if you watched it?
Tell me that you hate Fallout New Vegas. Tell me I'm wrong that it's not the best Fallout game.
What do you think of Fallout, the games, the mobile app?
Yeah.
The TV show.
Fallout Shelter is a good mobile game.
Yeah. Write us in.
Yeah.
Message us.
Yep.
Visual listeners.
Exactly.
You can email us at feedback@screentimepod.com.
What are we doing next week?
I don't know. It's a surprise.
Oh, we're going to leave it. Okay, we're not going to say it.
I don't know if we decided exactly. Did we decide?
Yeah, we did, but that's all right. We'll just, it'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, you can, or leave a comment or send us a DM, all those things. We'll read it on the show if you give us feedback. And if you want to DM us, I'm at J Youngbar on Instagram.
Yep. And I'm at Jered Youngbar.
All right. And we'll talk about something. It's a surprise next week.